बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जयो गिरिवरधारी प्रिय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जयो गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि यमुना तीरावनचारि राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शन जय गोपाल देव जय गोपाल देव गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय प्रभुपदा भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपदा जगद्गुरु शिल प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीपदा जय गुरुदेवा श्रीपाद जय गुरुदेवा जय जय श्रीपाद जय गुरु महाराज श्रील श्रीपाद की जय जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जय संवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय जय सीता ठाकुरानी आविर्भाव महा महोत्सव की जय हरे कृष्ण. So we're continuing our Bhagavatam Seva. Today is very auspicious day. It is the appearance of Srimati Sita Thakurani, the eternal consort of Advaita Acharya. So if time permits, we will speak something of Mother Sita Devi's pastimes. So this is Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 37. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishikya. So Bhagavat Mahapuran, the verse number is 37. Shriyama Uvacha Aho Amisham Bayasadikanam Vipashyatam Loka Vidhim Vimoha Yatragatas Gatam Manusyam Swayam Sadharmapi Shochantya Partam. Shriyama Uvacha Aho Amisham Bayasadikanam Vipashyatam Loka Vidhim Vimoha Yatragatas Gatam Manusyam Swayam Sadharmapi Sochantya Partam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Sri Yamaraj said, "Alas, how amazing it is! These persons who are older than me have full experience that hundreds and thousands of living entities have taken birth and died. Thus, they should understand that they are also apt to die. Yet, still they are bewildered. The conditioned soul comes from an unknown place and returns after death to that same unknown place. There is no exception to this rule, which is conducted by material nature. Knowing this, why do they uselessly lament?" Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, verse 2nd chapter, 28th verse, "Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidananyeva tatra ka paridevana." All created beings are unmanifested in their beginning, manifest in the interim state, and unmanifest again when they are annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in its existence, there is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by the followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if for argument's sake we accept the atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of unmanifestation becomes manifestation, just as from ether air is generated, and from air fire is generated, from fire water is generated, and from water earth becomes manifested. From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. For example, a big skyscraper is manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate state. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in the course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation in either manifestation or unmanifestation? Somehow or the other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all the elements remain unmanifested, and this does not make any real material difference. If we accept the Vedic conclusion, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Antavanta ime deha, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, nitya shokta sharirinaha, but that the soul is eternal, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of a dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated in the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for the loss of the body. In the Mahabharata, it is said, Adarshanad ihayata ihayata punaschadarshanam gataha. This statement could support the theory of the atheistic scientist that the child in the womb of the mother has no life, but is simply a lump of matter. To follow this theory, if the lump of matter is aborted by a surgical operation, no life is killed. The body of a child is like a tumor, and if a tumor is operated upon and thrown away, no sin is involved. The same argument could be put forward in regard to the king and his queens. The body of the king was manifested from an unmanifested source, and again it has become unmanifested from manifestation. Since the manifestation exists only in the middle between the 2 points of unmanifestation, why should one cry for the body manifested in the interim? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swaminiti Namine Nama Sadbhaktamanaye Manipur Udbhavaya Cha Prabhupada Satvani Prachara Niratayate Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatadeshatarine Vancha Kalpatarurvyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamana Stam Namami Harim Param Sansara Sagare Magnam Dinham Mam Karunanide Karmagrahya Grihitangam Mamuddhara Bhavarnavad Srimad Bhagavatam Akyoyam Pratyaksha Krishna Evahi Svikritosi Mayanata Mukyartam Bhavasagare. So to recap, this sloka is being spoken by Yamaraj, Dharmaraj, the Lord of Death, the superintendent of death. And he's appeared as a small boy in front of all these, lamenting people. When their king name is Suyagya, and this king Suyagya dies, and all his relatives, his wives, and everybody, practically all of them in the kingdom, they are lamenting the battlefield. So Yamaraj, out of his causeless mercy, he comes there as a small boy, simply to enlighten them. That, like Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, the wise they lament neither for the living nor for the dead. This lamentation is not something which is appreciated. So this death, this issue of death, everywhere you see in the this mention of death is there, because this is material world. Material world means everything is temporary. Mrityu sarva haras shaham, the Lord is saying, I am death which takes away everything. Taking away everything means you lose your dear and near ones, you lose all your property, you lose this body you work so hard to maintain. You're losing all your degrees, whatever, any kind of relationship you have with the material world, everything goes away, just like that. Oof. Few seconds, everything is gone. So you'll find these references. Namo chayete samapete mrityum, Bhagavatam is saying, then janma marana mokshaya, maranam, death is there. Martyanam kim mutasisha, people who are destined to die, what is the thing they can do? And the whole Bhagavatam actually starts with Parikshit Maharaj's inquiry that I'm about to die now. And you please enlighten me, all of you educated people, you intelligent people. You tell me that since I'm about to die, what is my duty? Specifically at the point of death. Antakale, the time when it is coming that you have to leave this body, at that particular time, what am I supposed to do? And the Bhagavatam, the whole Bhagavatam is replying to that very important question that, one day we'll die. At least now, whatever we may be doing, at the point of death, what is the primary duty of every living being? And this story about this king, Suyagya, from this Ushinara kingdom, and Yamaraj coming as a small boy to enlighten all the lamenting relatives. This is actually being told by none other than our Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were these supreme villains of their time, not ordinary people. When they would walk, practically the whole earth would tremble, the hills would shake, the oceans, there'll be big waves. And they were terrorizing the entire universe with all their kind of activities, completely nonsense activities, simply meant to destroy the entire Bhagavad culture. They had accumulated so much gold and other precious things that, the earth actually lost her balance in space, and she fell down into the Garbhodak ocean. And the Lord, he appeared as Varahamurti. He lifted that the earth planet, and then there was a fight with Hiranyaksha, and ultimately Hiranyaksha was killed. So it's like, you're a mafia boss, you're a criminal don or something like that, and you have one right hand, some person who you can fully trust, and you lose your right hand, you can imagine the situation. So Hiranyakashipu, although he was so powerful, when he lost his brother, he became so very upset that he said, I will go kill this person who has done this. I will kill Vishnu, and I will take all the blood, and I will bathe my brother's dead body with that. Till I do that, I will not be satisfied. So naturally, when you lose such a close member of your family, the family members, they cry. Past 1 month, we had like this kind of personal experience. My uncle passed away. He was in the ICU for a while, and I had to go there because all his children, they were away. So in the ICU also, I was seeing death. Every other day, some old person or some old lady was dying, and eventually my uncle passed away. And one of my mother's very close friends, one auntie, she passed away. We used to go to her house as children. We used to watch the color TV there. She passed away. And then the HOD of a dairy science department, one Mr. Habibullah Khan, Professor Dr. Habibullah Khan, he passed away. So there were so many messages, condolences, messages pouring. You have a veterinary group, and they were writing all this. So you see, this death, although it is a common occurrence, that you think that people will get used to this thing. You see death everywhere. Even when you're walking, you just see, you're stamping one ant is dying, knowingly, unknowingly, but somehow by nature's law, the stringent laws of nature, death is happening always. So people, okay, you cry once, you cry twice, maybe because of some attachment, but how long will you keep on crying? That's why the Lord is saying in the Gita, those who are wise people, not everybody. Those who are dhira, those who are very sober, those who are intelligent, these people, they will neither lament for those who are living nor for those who are dead. And Hiranyakashipu is, he's talking about this topic, death. And he's consoling his relatives by telling this story. There are certain topics we like to talk about. We long to talk about certain topics. And then there are certain topics that, they are being talked about for a very, very long time, And death is one such topic. This is a harsh reality we face when we cannot accept Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of. The Lord is saying, Mrityu Sarva Haras Shaham. I am that death. The Lord is making it very clear. So, if you don't want to see Krishna as he is, as the Supreme Person, the Supreme Controller, and most wonderful person he is, if you're not able to acknowledge that, then okay, Krishna is coming as death in front of you. You don't want to accept this reality, then okay, you take this reality. You cannot avoid. This is the thing. This is the whole point. You cannot avoid Krishna anywhere because the Lord is everywhere in all circumstances. He is eternally present. You cannot avoid. And if you're sensible, you will try to see the positive side, this Krishna conscious side, rather than, simply becoming old and dying and accepting this other harsher reality that, we are forced to accept. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, our Acharya, he has said this. What are you saying? Prana hetu say hetu prachar. If you have life, you preach. And basically, Hiranyakashipu is preaching, but he is not preaching about the original person. Rather, he wants to destroy the original person, Lord Vishnu. But he is preaching the other aspect of that very same person in the form of death. He's talking about death. And he's giving all these nice Vedic statements, actually. Oh, these things will happen. You don't worry. This is part of life. Like that. No, there are always two sides to the coin. The coin, it's not that, you have only one side. You should see the other side of the coin also. That is proper perspective, right? Seeing both the sides of the coin. So reality, it is manifest sometimes and it is unmanifest sometimes. Prabhupada is giving this long purport where he is talking about this manifest state and unmanifest state, vyakta and avyakta. Manifest means we can see in front of us, the body is there, everything is there. Unmanifest, the body is gone. So in either case, in either situation, what is the need for lamentation? And then again, the divisions, there are two categories of people. Dau bhuta sargo lokesmin deva asura evacha. There are these divine people, these people with divine saintly qualities who accept that there is soul, there is super soul, and all these things. And then there are these demons, the atheistic people who never accept these things. In either case, whether they accept the soul or they don't accept, whether they accept that it is manifested and unmanifested, either way, there is no use, there is no need for lamentation. This Prabhuji was giving a class, and he was saying, you have a problem, right? And you can solve the problem. can do something about it. Why worry about it? And then you have a problem, and there's nothing you can do to solve that problem. And then again, why worry about it? It's beyond you. So death is like that. It is beyond us. There's nothing you can do. But if you can do something, the thing is that, if you cannot beat it, you embrace it. This is what they say. You join it. So this perspective, Krishna conscious perspective of looking at death also as a supreme Lord, it changes the whole thing actually. And the whole Bhagavatam is guiding us to that point and saying that, Janmalabha parapumsan ante narayana smriti. That's all. At the end, you don't lament that I'm giving up everything and I'm going to face death. Rather, you think of the Supreme Lord, my Lord, you have kindly come as death, to take me away from all these material miseries. Everything, there is a positive outlook, there is a negative outlook, and then there is a transcendental outlook. These things, going above the plus and minus of this world, the negative emotions, the positive emotions, and then transcending both. This transcendental state, this is the Vishuddha Sattva state, this Vasudeva state, the Narayan state, the Lord Krishna state, Krishna consciousness. This is that state. So the Bhagavatam is talking about all these Mahabhagavatas, especially here Lord Yamaraj, who's coming as a small boy. You know why? The thing is, always his children are there. When children speak, it's very attractive actually. Sukadeva Goswami is a 16 years old kid, right? And there are so many sages, sometimes some of them, they live for a kalpa of Lord Brahma, many thousands of years. But this Bhagavatam was being spoken by the Sukadeva Goswami. The main thing was that he was liberated from birth. He was fully Krishna conscious. This is that. But the thing is, when children speak, it's very, very attractive actually. Old people, they are meant to speak philosophy, because they have this wealth of experience. But when a young person is speaking like old person, everybody, they really listen. They become so struck with wonder. So when everybody is lamenting, Yamaraj is coming as a small boy and see all these old people, so much elder to me, they have so much experience of death, and still they are sitting and crying, like a crybaby. Look at them. So I'm going to tell you one story before, maybe another story also possible, and then something about Sita Thakurani, then we will wind up. So there was this person, his name was Amrita, no death. And this person's only fear in life was that he will die. So he was very afraid of death. Nothing else bothered him. Now you are alive, you survive somehow, you can do, all the other problems somehow you can manage. But if you're going to die, there is nothing more to do. So he was very afraid of death, and he was praying constantly to Lord Yamaraj, for protection. So because of his very sincere, prayerful attitude, and seeing all his humility and all this nice, service that this person is doing, people generally, they don't pray to Lord Yamaraj. They pray to somebody to save them from Yamaraj. So this person, he actually prayed to Yamaraj. So it's a very rare thing. So Yamaraj became very pleased, and he granted him his vision, and he said, you can ask me something. So that person was intelligent, pretty intelligent guy. So he said, I know you will come as death. You will have to come and take away, you'll have to drag my soul away from the body. But you give me some notice, beforehand, so that I can prepare myself. I can become a nice, at least at that stage, I will become a nice devotee, and then maybe meditate on Lord, and I can, go in proper frame of consciousness. You please do this for me. Yamaraj agreed. Said, okay, I will inform you. And then He left. And naturally, like Parikshit Maharaj, he knew he is going to die. 1 week notice he got. And so he was able to prepare. But this person, he knew Yamaraj will come and give the notice before he's about to die. So he was indulging himself very nicely. No care in the world, full mode sense gratification. Hashtag indulgence sense gratification to the maximum. He was enjoying life. He became old. His children they grew up. They produced grandchildren. The grandchildren, they grew up. Some of them even got married. It's like fourth generation, and this fellow is still alive. By the mercy of the Lord and by Yamaraj's mercy, somehow, you have darshan of a pure devotee. It's not an ordinary thing. You get a lot of good fortune. So gradually, the hat turned gray. All the teeth started to fall. His vision became, very diminished. And then, bent down, he could hardly walk. And he was in the deathbed, and Yamaraj came to drag him away. And he was shocked. Hey, you said you will give me a notice so that I can prepare. Now, out of the blue, you're here. And then, this is very unfair. You have cheated me. I trusted you and you cheated me. So Yamaraj is saying, what do you expect? That I send you a, like an email, a telegram or telegraph message or a phone message, voice message that I'm going to come there and drag you, You thought that? What did you think? The first notice I sent you was when your hat turned white. The second notice I sent you was when, what is that thing? Yeah, you lost all your teeth. The third, when your vision became thing. Don't see all these external things, turn internally. Try to achieve the self-realization. Not this external vision, but internal vision. Self. Look at yourself. And then lastly, you could barely walk to do any activities. You were not humble, you're standing very proud like this. And then you become bent down, you become very humble, you're naturally, bowing down. All these, I sent you four letters, four notices. And you completely ignored all of them. Now, what do you want me to do? So ultimately, that person was dragged away, and everybody, again, the family members all started lamenting. He died. Amrita died. And then there is this other story about how the saintly person is blessing, different category of people. He blesses the prince saying, you Chiranjeeva, you live very long. And then he blesses the butcher by saying, you don't live, you don't die. And then he's blessing the brahmachari, you die, you better die. And he is blessing the devotee by saying, either you die or you live, it makes no difference. So naturally, sannyasis and saintly people, they are supposed to be samadarshi, right? Pandita samadarshina. Then the disciple of that saintly person, he started getting this doubt. Why is our Guruji giving all these different blessings to people, like that, different? There is no one standard blessing, maybe Krishnamati Rastu or something like that. Why he is not giving like this? Why is he giving different people? And then he went and he requested his Guruji to explain his actions. And the Swamiji said, this prince, he has done a lot of pious things. So, let him enjoy as far as he can. That's why I blessed him that he live very long. Because after that, then he will face the reactions of all his actions. This brahmachari, his whole life is suffering actually, because he has to work very hard, go to the forest, follow Guru's order, maintain all this discipline, tapasya. So it's better he dies, because then he will get a better position in next birth. The butcher, he is living in a hellish condition, killing animals and birds and all that. And when he dies, again he will be in hell where he has to suffer. So either you don't live or you don't die. This is a blessing I give. Because living he is also suffering, and dying also he will suffer. So better don't live, don't die. Don't live like this and don't die also after doing all this. And finally, that the devotee of the Lord is saying, Jivava Marova, either you live or you die. Doesn't matter, because wherever the devotee is, he is praying to the Lord, Bhavatat Bhakti Rahaitu Kitvai. My Lord, you please grant me your devotion. So he is in that frame of mind. Swarga, Apavarga, Narakeshu, Api Tulyartha Darshana. It doesn't matter whether he is here in heaven, in planet Earth, he is in hellish condition, or he goes back to the spiritual world. It doesn't matter. Wherever he is always serving the Lord. So I think we're almost running out of time. I'll just say a small recap about our Srimati Sita Thakurani, who is the eternal consort of Advaita Acharya. And she's also the mother of the universe on the same level as Sachimata. So this today is Sita Devi's appearance day. And they said that, Sita Devi, her father, his name was, in Bhakti Ratnakar, it is mentioned, the father's name was Narsingha Baduri. She was a daughter of Sri Narsingha Baduri, and she had one younger sister. Her name was Sri. And then she was married to Advaita Acharya in Puliya Nagara. And then after their marriage, Advaita Acharya, he went to Nadia to live in Shantipur. And she was, Sita Thakurani, she was absorbed very much in Vatsalya Prem for Gaur Sundar, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then she used to instruct not only Sachi Devi, but also Jagannath Mishra, how to care for Gauranga Mahaprabhu, how to care for Nimai. And during the celebrations, when he was born, she came actually and she offered a lot of auspicious items, after seeing the child. Generally, the first time you see a child, it is customary. The Vedic custom is, you offer some gift. It was kind of welcoming the new soul into the world. But this is a Supreme Lord. So she gave a lot of jewels and she gave a lot of, wonderful scents, clothes, so many things, a lot of presents. So it is mentioned in the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika that Thakurani is actually Yogamaya. Sita Thakurani is Yogamaya. And in the Gaura Parshada Charitravali, it says that in Krishna Leela, she was actually Purnamasi. This Purnamasi is the mother of Sandipani Muni, right? The one who gave Namkaran to Krishna and Balram. And Purnamasi is a grandmother of Madhumangal. And Madhumangal and Nandamukhi are brothers and sisters. And she's a disciple of Narad Muni. So this Purnamasi or Yogamaya, both of them. And in Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna was born, she was actually in the house of Nanda Maharaj. And she gave again, to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda how to care for this Lord Krishna, the baby Krishna. So, and during all these pastimes, when Mahaprabhu and all his associates, they used to come to Advaita Acharya's house. They used to do extractive kirtans. Sita Devi, Thakurani, she was also there. She was also listening and she was participating in all these events. And then even before taking sannyas, actually Mahaprabhu came there to Shantipur, and after getting their blessings only, and when he was a small child, Nimai, when his elder brother Vishwarup, he all of a sudden he took sannyas and he left. Actually, it was Sita Thakurani and Advaita Acharya who consoled Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra. And you don't worry, your elder son has done the right thing. You take care of the younger one, Nimai. So is some of the things that is there, that she was always constantly worshipping the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And because of this love exhibited by both Advaita Acharya and Sita Thakurani, Mahaprabhu, he was not able to go to Vrindavan actually. He was trying to go to Vrindavan, but because of this deep love these two had for him, he was drawn to Shantipur actually. Rather than going to Vrindavan, he was pulled to Shantipur. So this is the degree of affection they had. So this is a small thing that. So we pray, because she is Yogamaya and she is the mother of the universe. We pray at her lotus feet that she bless us with constant devotion and remembrance of Lord Krishna. So thank you very much for your patient listening. And you have any suggestions, any questions, or any comments, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for this nice class. Also telling about Sita Thakurani. Yeah. If anyone is having any question regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Madan Manohar Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the purport, it is also said about this cosmic world. So even this cosmic world is not permanent. It is conveyed there. So what is the connection to the death for this?
So in a sense that this cosmic world also, it dies. The soul is wrapped by this body. We are souls wrapped by the body, and then around the body again there is this wrapping of the cities, there's wrapping of these planets, and then this wrapping of the whole universe, material universe. So unless one is able to give out this gross and subtle coverings, then the soul cannot be fully liberated or fully happy. That's why in the Gita the Lord is saying Dukhalem Ashaswatam. He's saying all these things, Prabhupada is elaborately explaining how from sound, the space comes, from space, you get air, and from air you get fire, and from fire you get water, and from water you get earth. How these things are manifest gradually from subtle to gross. But either way around, even though they are manifest in front of you, they will again become unmanifest. They'll again go into the subtle state where they may not be present to your vision. So if you want to see everything in the proper perspective, the Lord is saying you have to give up this temporary situation. All these coverings you'll have to give up, and the soul has to be situated in his original constitutional position. Unless he comes to that pure platform, one will always be entangled here. And there is every cause to lament actually. So when one is able to overcome all these things, by the process of devotional service, one is able to overcome and go beyond the bodily platform, go beyond this material universe platform. One is able to go, then one will be situated in the real platform of happiness, the real platform of living, and not the platform of death. So this is what the Lord is trying to say. And Prabhupada is just elaborately explained how things are manifest and unmanifest. But if you want to remain in the proper position, then you will have to become a devotee of the Lord. Otherwise, it is not possible. You'll also go into the same thing, manifest, unmanifest scene. You'll get your body, and then the body will be unmanifest, and again you'll have to get another body, and it just goes on. But to become a Krishna conscious devotee, nice, fully Krishna conscious, then you will get a spiritual body and you will get a permanent place. Not this manifest, unmanifest scenario. Rather, you will always have a manifest state.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yeah, we have 3 more people in line. Yes, Govind Maharaj, please.
Dandavat Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat, all those sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, the fear of death which is haunting the conditioned soul. But when we take to this devotional service, we gain this philosophical understanding. You know that Krishna is with us, correct?
Yeah, madam.
It's only philosophical. It has not gone into our subconscious. It has not become a reality. And that's why merely philosophical understanding,
Not help.
our consciousness is not involved that Krishna is with us. But as we develop this devotional path, then our real ego that I am with Krishna. Krishna is with everyone, so what a big deal. But whether I am with Krishna or not, it's a sentiment, it's a bhava. It's the mood, means I am with Krishna. So ultimately it matters where we are conscious, what we are conscious of. So in the philosophical understanding, there is a disconnect. And that disconnect causes fear of death. Because, but when I am with Krishna, then whatever happens to us, to me is perceived as something ordained by Krishna, correct?
Yeah.
So that's not feared, but honored. This is possible in a life of a sadhaka. Because what is the definition of death? Death is nothing but the exit from the temporary. Correct?
Yeah,
To which if I have become attached, then it is very fearful. I have different agenda, and that agenda is unfulfilled, and oh, what will happen to my agenda? But for a devotee, he has only one agenda, because he is with Krishna. And let Krishna do everything. So like Parikshit Maharaj, because he was absorbed with Krishna, so he said, let so-called death come, let that snake come and bite me. You know, that kind of thing. You brought a tremendous paradox that somebody can have the name Amrita and could be in fear of death. But my question is, how this concept of death, the very thought of that my departure from this temporary atmosphere would be the most blissful thing. Can it be contemplated upon? Can it be thought? No matter whatever situation we are, exit is inevitable. So something which is inevitable. How to make all the arrangements, how to prepare for it, rather than fearing and staying away or not talking about it. With the help of Krishna consciousness. Actually, in Bhagavad Dharma, cultivation of Bhagavad Dharma, even the apparent death of the Vaishnavas, a spiritual master, it becomes a celebration, dual celebration. That yes, in pure consciousness, one departs from this temporary atmosphere and enters the Nitya Lila, correct? Nitya Lila Pravishta, we say. So that's a great jubilation. And because we could not get enough from the association, that's why the lamentation simultaneously. but both are leading us to the absolute platform. So I think in the life of a sadhaka, death has to be perceived, death has to be discussed. Apparent is something in a conditioned state is very fearful, but in reality, it should be a celebration of a lifetime. When I think of death, yes, it can come in any way, but then my present moment consciousness, that alone is in my control or with me. And then that way I can be with Krishna all the time, every moment. And if I'm with Krishna, let Krishna sanction, let Krishna ordain, so-called, and I'm ready. So my question is, as we say philosophically, are you all time ready? Am I all time ready? How often we have to remind ourselves that I am all time ready for Krishna. So if Krishna comes in the form of exit, I'm ready for him, and what will not resist. Please throw some
Maharaj,
help us.
you know the answer of the question also, but out of your mercy for all the souls, you are just asking. Anyway, whatever comes to my little brain, I will tell you, Maharaj. I was in Bombay, right?
Yes.
There was this devotee who was talking about, everybody knows we are going to die, right? We are going to make an exit. This temporary thing, there'll be a change of body, we are going to go. Everybody knows this. But you were saying you don't really know. This profound, deep understanding is not there. That realization is not there. And he was giving this example. Like if somebody is walking in the middle of the road, you tell that person, you don't go in the middle, you'll get an accident. If that person, he has realized that, he understands that, he will come to the side. So same way, if a person knows actually, or he has realized that he is going to die, like the person who's walking the middle of the road will come to the side. Same way, this person will gradually, he will try to give up this materialistic activities and move over to the side, where the spiritual life is. He understands I'm not meant to die, then he will move over. He will give up all these materialistic activities and he will indulge more in spiritual activities. The point being that you have to exit. You cannot avoid it. But why not make a grand exit? Why not leave in such a fashion, grand fashion, thinking about going to meet the grandest person, Lord Krishna, or going to the grandest place, the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. Why don't we do that? This kind of thing, that this kind of mentality appears only in people, very few people who are very fortunate and blessed by, few devotees. Otherwise, this kind of thinking is not easy. Rather, they become afraid because they don't know what they're going to face. You generally become fearful of the thing you don't know. You don't know what is going to happen after death, so they become fearful. But if you're well prepared and trained like this, that you can make a really grand exit, and you can go meet this grandest person, in a very grand setting, grand place. If you can do that, then people naturally they will welcome that. Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm going to a better place. So they'll very happily they will go. Otherwise, there's lamentation. It's unavoidable. You cannot avoid. So this deep realization that, when one gets that I'm really going to die, this is how spiritualist think, that I can die at any moment. And therefore, let every moment, let me be Krishna conscious. This is how spiritualists think. People who are trying to be spiritualists, they think like that. But materialistic, rather, they think, oh, I will live unlimitedly. Let me enjoy to the max without any care. Yavat jivet, sukham jivet. However, I live, Pranam kritva gritam pibet. I will beg, borrow, steal. I will eat nicely with ghee fried and enjoy my life. This is how materialists think, because they think that, they will live. There will not be an exit point. No, life is one whole, living point. There is no exit point. They think like that. So sensible people, when they read the Bhagavatam, when they hear the saintly people talk, they come to this, it takes time. but at least they try to withdraw from this materialistic activities and gradually prepare so that, whenever death happens, at least, they have some inkling of what is about to happen. So they will try to, be conscious of the law. This is my understanding. Hare Krishna.
Do animals fear death?
Yeah, they do, Maharaj.
Because they don't contemplate death, do they?
No, they don't contemplate. It's an instinctive reaction, but they do fear death.
No, means for what? Are they losing some agenda?
You're
Means
asking me?
they're planning just like a human being, what will happen to my husband, what will happen to my wife, what will happen to my daughter, what will happen to my business on that contract and this and that, because they don't have such agenda. So I'm just wondering, of course they don't like the attack, somebody attacking him, but the concept of death is contemplated by the animals, because in a mode of ignorance, the engrossment is so deep that they don't even look that the next is their turn to be cut off. They are so engrossed in eating the grass. The goat is engrossed in eating the grass, and maybe just wondering, because all the focus education of the human being to really sort out this fear which is not to be feared, actually. Death is a journey, exit, and because it is inevitable. So one truly intelligent person can really focus what he wants to accomplish before the exit comes. So this awakening is very, very essential, I think. Otherwise, one can remain in oblivion and totally careless. And people feel, say, who cares? Death comes, who cares? But it's a real question that where we will end up, what will be our destination, that is still within our hand. So that's why Bhagavatam challenges again and again the human being. You think you are very intelligent, but you are a fool.
Fool.
Do we call a fool a fool?
You'll get upset, Maharaj.
No. Fool will never become upset, because we identify that we are intelligent. If somebody calls me fool, that means I meant not to act like a fool, because I'm not a fool. If you call a fool, he won't mind, would he?
He shouldn't mind, but generally they get upset, Maharaj.
No, he won't be upset if he's a fool. I say don't be a dog. Means I am not a dog. So the modification is possible. So all this education, Bhagavatam is strongly calling, very bad names to the human being who think they are very intelligent. And so it hurts, it pinches us. But if we can take the pinch in a positive note, then it could be a big turnaround, I hope.
Yeah, that is true. Swavid Varaha Ushra Karai, saying dog eating, stool eating dogs, pigs, asses, and camels. That's how the Bhagavatam is comparing those who don't want to indulge in devotional service. Thank you, Maharaj.
There are more questions.
Thank you, Maharaji, and thank you, Mahaprabhu. We have two more questions. We will take them quickly. Yes, Nilmadhu Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Nilmadhu Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. My question is like, but whenever daily dealings are there, you have to keep faith on some persons, even normal also.
Yeah.
So like seniors, professors, lab mates. So because anyway we have to learn something or something. We are like this obligation is there. We have to since we have to obey them, we should have faith in them, otherwise we can't obey. So this faith problems comes again every day. So if you think about that, there is a you can't there is like faith problem is coming. What's Hare Krishna, how to deal?
No, I didn't properly understand your question. What are you trying to ask?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I will tell just. So you are my senior, so I have to keep faith on you, because otherwise I can't obey if I don't keep faith. That is there.
okay.
So if I think about death, you will not be anyway with me long, so I should not keep faith on you. But for working, I have to keep faith on you. So this faith
Oh,
dilemma
okay.
comes. How to
Okay.
deal? Hare
So what you're basically asking is that, if the person is about to die, this keeping this faith becomes an issue, because he's no more within our vision. That's what you're trying to say, right? See, there is no solution for that. This is nature's law. This is nature's law. So if you want to be with that person permanently, then, not only you should try to go back to the spiritual world, but you should also, act in such a way that that person also wants to go back to the spiritual world. That's about it. But you can have faith that you're going to die. This much faith is there. But if you're going to die, whether that person dies before you, or you're going to die later, or you're going to die before that person, the ultimate thing is that if you want that person's presence eternally with you, you have to go to the spiritual world. There is no other way. And faith means you have belief in something sublime, 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 something higher, something greater, something grander than all of us. We are all ordinary human beings, right? You don't need to put anybody on a pedestal. Just because he's senior, it's not that you have to follow. That is also there. One should be, how do you say? One should understand that, one should be able to see through the Shastras where actually a person is. So then you put your faith on somebody who is very pure and who is very sublime, your life becomes successful. It's not that you should deal with others in a bad way, but putting the full faith, means that person has to be fully pure. That is a prerogative, actually. Otherwise, that person can take you only up to that level where he is. There will not be much progress. So if you want to go completely beyond the modes, then you have to put your faith on a person who is also completely beyond the modes. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If I have 1,000 rupees, I can give you 10 rupees, 100 rupees, or whatever. But if you're demanding 1 million and I have only 1,000, it's not possible for me to give. So this thing, that faith in something sublime, right? This is very important part. And death or no death, that doesn't matter. But if you're developing faith, you put your faith on the right person, even if it is for a short while. Bhagavatam is saying that, Lavenapi, even less than a fraction of a second, if you are being in the association of with such pure people, people who are fully convinced and fully Krishna conscious, then, you cannot compare it with anything in the material world. You cannot compare. So it doesn't matter whether you have faith or not, but if you're placing your faith, then you keep your faith on, such kind of personalities. Then your life becomes successful, even if it is for a fraction of a second. That is a power of such people. So you don't have to worry, that, oh, these people, they come in my life and then they go, and what I will do with my faith. But you find one good person and then you put your faith on that. That is enough. Guru, when you choose a guru, the gurus are actually the representatives of all the demigods, all of them. Sakshat Hari, is directly Krishna for you. So if you're doing that thing, proper faith in guru, then everything will be all right. Krishna will give you the intelligence how to deal with all the other things. Shouldn't be a problem. It takes time, but it will not be a problem. Is that okay? Neil Madhav? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not only you have to keep faith on only anyway guru will keep faith, but in for executing seva different, so you have to keep faith on many persons, right?
See, that is the thing. If you're going to doubt, you can doubt everybody. You can even doubt your own guru. But then the Gita is saying, Samshaya Atma Vinashati.
No, I'm not going in that way. I'm asking like, Guru, we'll have on Guru Maharaj anyway, we'll have faith. But Guru Maharaj will not help in, he will see everything, but he will not every day hold our hand and take everywhere, right? It's not like that, right? So we have to
Okay.
deal with many situations.
What I'm saying, I'll tell you what Guru Maharaj told me. Okay. Guru Maharaj, I went like this once when I was in Manipur. There's those senior devotees would never let me go close to Maharaj, right? Always one after another, there will be, some Maharaj is taking massage, Maharaj is on phone call, Maharaj is taking prasadam. I never get a chance to go and meet him. So one day, somehow I managed to squeeze in, and Maharaj very jokingly said, "Oh, Madan, you've broken the chakra view." And then, when I was complaining, Maharaj, these people, they're not letting me come to you, Then Maharaj said, you're an educated person. He said this word. You know what? And then what I understood from that is that you cannot always expect the physical presence of that person, but you can hold the values and everything, that person in your heart and meditate. This is real closeness, not just being in physical proximity and like that. It's an internal thing, actually. The whole spiritual life, it's an internal thing. It's something very, very subtle, actually. So if your guru is telling, yes, you can put your faith on that person, you can do that. Because you have committed to your guru, and it's a guru's job to take you back to Godhead. But otherwise, you are an educated person. You know if that person is being Krishna conscious or not. So you can deal with him that way. However, he deals with you. That's why the Shastras are there. One should read very thoroughly. And always you remember, if that person's instruction is going against your guru's instruction, then you can tell them very politely that my guru has ordered this to me, so I cannot commit to these things. Please forgive me, like that. You can do that. This is what being educated means, that you deal with it in a nice way. Not that, oh, because he's my senior, I have to put my faith and whatever he says I will do. It's not like that. You got the point.
Yeah. Okay,
No,
Hare Krishna.
yeah, we will talk a little bit later separately.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
No, you can't keep faith on so many people anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, that is the thing. That's why we keep faith on Krishna. Prabhupada said, even I will cheat you. Prabhupada said this very openly. He said, don't put your faith on me, I will cheat you. But he said, you always keep your faith on Krishna. Krishna will never cheat you. He will never let you down. One person. And you see, everything will work out from that.
Then there is one drawback in Krishna, that he cannot cheat.
Oh, Krishna's biggest cheater, Maharaj.
But it is good. Krishna, if Krishna cheats, is good. It's for good only.
His cheating is good, yeah. So this faith you have, then your life will be successful. That's it.
So thank you, Nilwada Prabhu. Maybe we can discuss later. Another point. Yeah, we have two more people in line. Yes, Haripad Prabhu, please, and Madan Manohar Prabhu, please make it short.
I'll try. I have a big mouth. I'll try. Yeah. Dandavad Prabhu.
I have one comment regarding this and one question also. So first, this comment regarding this attachment of the animals, what Govind Maharaj. Like I heard, like once Indra took bath as a pig, and then he has a lot of children, and Brahmaji wanted to take him. Then he has so much attachment. Like they have also attachment. So yeah, and Also another incident like in the that Ramayana, shooting beginning of the Ramayana, that person kills the crouch bird and another that male and female. So they are attached. I mean, so I think the animals are also having attachment, even if not like us, they have also attachment. And question is like when we this living entity dies or leaves the body, or somebody is going back to God, let's say. So we are minute spirit souls, very minute. So when suppose one is going back to Godhead, um, so he goes as a spirit soul, or he immediately achieves the spiritual body and goes. So how? What is the understanding, bro? Can you?
Okay. See, the soul travels at very fast speeds, right? We cannot even imagine. You die here, and then many millions of miles across, you are immediately in the spiritual world. They say you develop a spiritual body. As soon as you go there, instantaneously you get a spiritual body, just like that. Unless you are in the impersonal Brahmajyoti, where you will remain as that small Chitkana, the small tiny soul, you will remain. But if you are going anywhere to Vaikuntha or to Golok Vrindavan, one of the two places, depending on who you are remembering. If you remember Krishna 200 form, you go to Golok. If you remember Krishna in the 400 form as Vishnu or any avatar, then you go to that particular planet. Varahadeva is a Vaikuntha planet, Narsingadeva is a Vaikuntha planet, so you will go there. But when you go there, you immediately get a body, you get a spiritual body. It develops immediately. But the general process is that, from what I remember reading from the Brihad Bhagavatam, I'm not very sure, this lifetime, when you die, you take birth in a place where Krishna is actually performing pastimes within the material world. If you're dying in full Krishna consciousness, you go to within the material universe, one of the innumerable universes, one of the places where Krishna is actually performing pastimes. And there you enter the Leela, you become trained up, and then when you quit the body, then you go back,
Okay, so
this is what, yeah.
one has to take part in the Bhauma Lila before going to.
Yeah. This is what I remember. If I remember reading from Brihad Bhagavatamrit by Sanatan Goswami. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yes, Amrita Mataji, please make it short. And
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Pranam Prabhuji, and Pranam all the Maharajas and devotees. Hare Krishna to all. I have no question. I just want to say few lines in the answer of Shri Guru Maharaj's question, that we are ready all the time, ready to accept death as it is. Can I?
Yeah, please.
Yes. I think that when our heart, the heart of sadhaka is deeply entangled with the love of Sri Guru and Krishna, then I think we are ready to accept death at any moment, because no matter when it will come, because because that feelings completely transcend our consciousness, and so that time I just only say the line which my Shri Guru always told, that that time death becomes that I milan ki bela, because we have then we feel no fear of death, because that soul feel no difference between life and death, and the life which the days that he or she has, it is just in order to serve to Shri Guru and Krishna. So as my Shri Guru always says, the line, beautiful lines, the line of bhajan, that jivane marane gati nahi more, are nahi gati more. So that time the jivan and maran, yani ki life and death, it becomes alike. So that there is no difference between life and death, and so the fear of death and completely gone away. So it doesn't matter that when will that when it will come, so we feel that we are ready at any moment. We are that time we feel that yes, we are ready to accept death, to welcome death at that time. That's it. Hare Krishna.
Hey Krishna,
So-
thank you, Mataji, thank you.
So,
Sharing.
Mataji is getting ready to welcome death. Huh?
No, I am not ready. I just tell the lines of my Shri Guru. We see
Yes.
always tell, and I like it very much. So just I want to say at this moment. That's all.
I understood. I
Because
understood.
I have, I have no yogyata, nothing, because nothing that I can tell anything, even a single line. So it's all what I am telling. It's only the sentence of my Shri Guru, but I just want to point in at this moment. That's it. Hare
Thank
you,
you,
Mataji.
thank you, Mataji. Yeah,
You can conclude, Sanatan Prabhu.
yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, just a second, quick comment. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it is better to contemplate on the instructions given by Sri Guru in his physical absence, so that we can't feel any separation, and rather than speaking in his presence or something. So thank you, and thank you very much. Yes, Prabhuji, please, we can conclude.
Yeah. जय गुरु महाराज श्रील श्रीपाद की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जय सीता
जय, जय।
ठाकुरानी आविर्भाव महा महोत्सव की जय,
Jai,
जय पीआई भक्तवृंद की जय.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
When,
Thank you.
when is Radhashtami?
14th, I think, Manoj.
Tuesday, Maharaj. 14.
Tuesday, correct? Yeah,
Yeah.
in America they are celebrating on Monday. So we will have two celebrations.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. His Grace Mother Manohar Prabhu ki jai.
Guru Maharaj
jai.
ki jai. Jai.
Thank you all for joining. See you all in tomorrow's class. Hare Krishna.